Yes, sir. You wanted to see me? Yes. Well, the rumors are actually true. French resistance leaders decided to issue a command to every single member of the French resistance. That command was to kill one German, obviously a member of the German military. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know why they issued that command, but it is official according to our spies. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the particular case that you asked me about a few hours ago, we do have confirmation. Apparently, this young woman knew of a small cache of weapons, basically 2 pistols hidden in a hollowed out area outside of a building, outside of an alley, and just a thin tile that matches the rest of the tiles put in place. She basically pried it out, took one of the 2 pistols, which was already loaded, and, well, she happened to know of a German major who had a habit of every morning after breakfast walking down to the banks of the river, where he would simply stand and observe the fishermen fishing. Yes, sir. It was just a habit of his. He enjoyed doing it when the weather was particularly nice. And he was known to do this by certain resistance members. Well, she bicycled up to him, made it seem as though she was going to bicycle right past him, and as she was doing so, she shot him in the back of the head and kept going. Now, unfortunately, there was a witness, well, besides the fisherman, a German general who was driving his mistress to, well, I'm sure you know where he was taking her. He saw what happened. He ran down the young resistance fighter using his Mercedes and had his mistress hold her at gunpoint. According to the reports, the mistress was a lot more scared than the young woman. The general ended up turning her over to the Gestapo, where they brutally interrogated her. Finally, they brought in a young man whom they believed she was acquainted with and stripped him naked, proceeded to break every single bone in his body, but she still refused to talk. Apparently, they ended up shipping her off to a concentration camp. Well, what makes the story worse is that we were able to confirm that the young man was actually working with the Germans. Yes, he was a collaborator. Apparently, his information wasn't as useful as he thought it was, or maybe he wasn't giving them enough information. Whatever the case may be, they decided to eliminate him in such a horrifying manner. Yes, sir. Oh, there's been other developments. Apparently, the Germans know that we issue, basically, yes, they know that we issue our operatives lapel daggers, and they've started issuing them to their own counter spies. But the whole situation is just ludicrous. Apparently, the procedure is for the German spies to walk into a bar that is highly suspected of being where our operatives make contact with the French resistance. And their operatives are told to basically pull out their lapel daggers and pretend to clean their fingernails with them in the hopes of attracting the attention of a French resistance fighter who will assume that the German spy is one of ours and make contact. Well, as you know, sir, our spies don't do that nonsense, and so the procedure has failed rather badly. For them, for us, it has allowed us to identify a handful of German spies, and we've captured a couple of them. I have a couple of examples of the German-made lapel daggers. Now, this is an early one. As you can see, it's very crude and intentionally left that way. There's some sort of green waxed thread or twine that's supposed to be the grip area. And here we have a length of rather stiff rawhide running straight down. Now, while this does provide for a good, solid grip in the hand, I mean, as you can see, this thing looks like something that a caveman would make. Not very impressive at all. Normally, with German engineering, you'd think they'd come up with something better. Their belief was that this is what our lapel daggers look like. Crude, ugly, although quite sharp. After a while, though, it became clear that our lapel daggers don't look like that. So the Germans have started producing this. Now, as you can see, this is closer to what we issue. However, much, much thinner, narrower. I mean, you can get a good grip, but it's barely there, sir. Yeah. Slicing open the back of a hand that grabs an operative, I guess it can be done with something like this, but as you can see, it's too narrow. What's needed is something this refined, but about as wide as this. The Germans haven't perfected it yet, sir. However, I don't think there's any risk. They do not know how to approach potential French resistance operatives. Oh, they know how to torture them, but that's about it, sir. They know how to torture them. They just turn them over to the Gestapo. But they don't know how to make contact with French resistance fighters, which is an advantage to us because they don't know how to make contact and they're stumbling all over themselves. Yes, we were able to capture a few of their spies. That's how we learned about their lapel dagger plans. Yeah, just walk into a bar or a restaurant suspected of French resistance activities, pull out your covert lapel dagger and pretend to be cleaning your fingernails with it until the right person notices and approaches you. It's ridiculous. They clearly have no clue what they're doing in that regard. Yes, in that regard, sir. Yes, I will keep you posted. Well, apparently the little man is getting progress reports on new experimental rockets. However, my spies are telling me that the scientists filming the results are only sending over the successful launches. And apparently there are significantly more failures than successes. But in order to keep the little man from getting angry and possibly executing the German scientists, they're only sending over film reels of successful experiments, successful launches. So it looks as though every single one is a success, when in reality, maybe 2 out of 10 are successful. Yes, he's not seeing the failures, so he's happy with the project, according to my spies. Yes, sir. Yes, I understand. I will continue to keep you posted regarding the experiments with the rockets. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. You can count on me, sir. Thank you.